Stand by for this week's start of Linglestown Gazette morning update. Please stand by. The technicians are hard at work getting this broadcast ready for prime time. If I can, this is always the most nerve-wracking part. Yes, I'm actually live and I'm doing this stupid stuff. Okay, let's see if I can hear me. Yep. All right, here we go. We're off to the races. This is Bill Bostic. Once again, Linglestown Gazette morning update. Your local yokel news place, the only place you can get local news these days in our community. Of course, our community is Lower Paxton Township, the greater Linglestown area, and all of Central Dauphin School District. I'm not sure. There looks like there might be Susan George. Welcome to you. You're first in the door. We're brought to you, as always, by Consolidated Insurance Services. They are over behind what I call the Carnes Food Plaza. It's something Union Square. I'm not sure what it is. But Carnes Food Plaza, they're on Jonestown Road. This is Consolidated Insurance Services. The key thing to look for is the Erie insurance sign, okay? That's what you want to do. They are our primary sponsor. We're also sponsored at this point in time by the Committee to Re-elect School Board member Rich Mazzatesta and elect Ted Giovannis to the Central Dauphin School Board. We have a primary election, folks, coming up on May 21st. So if you're not registered to vote, be sure to do that shortly. If you don't know how to register to vote, contact me. My phone number is everywhere. And I tell you, amazingly, this is one thing I want you to know. It's amazing. I have my phone number everywhere. I put it out there, emails, the web, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you look, my phone number's there. No one calls me. No one calls me, so don't worry about putting your phone number on the web. I say that with sort of tongue-in-cheek, but really, no one does call me. Okay, well, why am I wearing this goofy hat? This is called a bucket hat. Best made famous by Gilligan's Island. You know, Gilligan. You know, and that show back in probably the 1960s when I was a kid. But I'm wearing it for a reason. Today, folks, is the last day to buy your tickets for what is called a murder mystery by the title Peace, Love, and Murder. It's a 1960s murder mystery happening in Linglestown this Friday and Saturday evening, the 22nd and 23rd, put on by the fine folks over there at Springgate in the Village. I'm in it. I play a character called Billigan, and that's actually how the script came down. It wasn't because my name is Bill. It's Billigan, written right into the script. It's sort of a spin-off of Gilligan. Not quite, it's not the Gilligan you would think of, but I portray someone like him. And so tickets are available. Go to the Springgate Vineyard Facebook page, click on events, and then you scroll down, you'll find Peace, Love, and Murder. Tickets still available. Yes, I mean, they're a lot of fun, and we had our practice yesterday, so we're all ready to go. I just have to do a little preparation. I'll be ready for that. What else is going on here? The big story today, got two big stories. One sort of tongue-in-cheek, and that is the big story is that we have a closing coming up for a somewhat long-standing grocery store in the area. I received word about the possibility that the Harrisburg Grocery Outlet, that's on North Mountain Road in Linglestown, may be closing. Got that little tidbit through the grapevine. I contacted the company, and sure enough, their lease is running out in early April, and they're going to be starting to sell down their stock. So by early April, the neighborhood grocery outlet on North Mountain Road will be history. And I'm just wondering, this is an email exchange I have with them. I'm not sure whether the new Aldi's might have had something to do with that, because everywhere I go, it seems like people are raving about Aldi's there on Route 22, Jonestown Road, whatever you want to call it. Now, this is the tongue-in-cheek one. You know, I work for a news company, and I have to look at statewide headlines, and one of the bigger stories over the last week has been something called a hyperloop. Does anyone out there know what a hyperloop is? Apparently, the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission is earmarked something like $2 million, I mean millions of dollars, to study this thing where it's a tube, and you get in some sort of contraption, and they shoot you through this tube to go from one place to another. I think they have them somewhere in other parts of the world, and they're looking at doing one locally. I think out in the Pittsburgh area, they're going to be testing this. So I'm just wondering, I mean, if Linglestown and Lower Paxton Township, if this ever happens, are we going to get a station? You know, I wonder, I mean, before we get a Hyperloop, shouldn't we get a subway station here in Linglestown to go into Harrisburg? I don't know. Hyperloop. Can you believe it? We have potholes in our roadways, and they're spending money on Hyperloops. Just a little bit of commentary there, something to think about. Do a search for Hyperloop in Pennsylvania. Ooh. Okay, those are your top stories. We're going to move into our regular fare, starting with our Watchdog Report, brought to you by Kane Mortgage. Kane Mortgage, I tell you what, you know, getting a home mortgage together can be very anxiety-ridden. So work with the professionals at Kane Mortgage. They'll help you out. 717-541-5132. They're members of the Nationwide Mortgage Licensing System. Number 51058, if you want to look that up, Dave Caesar. One thing I want to mention, again, I mentioned it already. We'll mention it a second time. There's a primary election coming up on May 21st for primarily local municipal offices. That includes 5 seats for the Central Dauphin School Board. And I'm going to be posting the candidates for that. It looks like all the seats are there's competition for all the seats except the 2 in Region 3, which is Lower Paxton Township and West Hanover. So you got the eastern part of Lower Paxton Township, including Linglestown and West Hanover. Linda Delago, a former member, is running again, and incumbent and school board president Ford Thompson is on the ballot. They have no competition. There's 2 seats available. So someone's going to have to do a write-in campaign if they're going to get any competition. By the way, this broadcast is brought to you in part by what I'm wearing here today, the Fat Man Clothing Company, fatmanclothingcompany.com. That's Anthony Cristillo, the owner, operator, and trash collector at that company over there in Colonial Park. Check his stuff out at fatmanclothingcompany.com. I'm wearing the fleece. I think it's about a $35 item. Tomorrow night, folks, the Lower Paxton Township supervisors will be meeting in a joint meeting with the Township Authority. Now, if you're not sure what the authority does, what authority do they have? Well, they run the sewage system here in Lower Paxton Township. They've also been assigned to run the stormwater management system, you know, the piping that takes water that runs through the streets and parking lots and then takes it somewhere. Mysteriously, it goes somewhere. They're going to be meeting in a joint session. Now, one of the things, and this is sort of a note on what journalism, what local news can do. One of the agenda items is there's a private stormwater piping system or sewage system, stormwater system at a townhouse in the Colonial Park area. It's at Nancy Drive and Sherrill Drive off of Locust Lane, okay? This couple has I could take my Mini Cooper, my rickety old 2006 Mini Cooper, and put my car in this freaking sinkhole that had developed because the piping system failed. It's pretty close to their townhome. And the initial ruling over the last year or so from the township was no, they were not going to do anything because it was on private property and the township had there was nothing they were going to do about it. Well, there's been some changes, some new personnel, some new thinking, and on the agenda tonight, tomorrow night, that's Tuesday night, 7 o'clock at the Municipal Center, there's a proposal to go in and fund the fix for that couple. And depending on what they find, it could be as much as $100,000 based on the resolution they're looking at. They have to do some investigative work. But without some pressure from actually myself, making some contacts behind the scenes and also Stray Winds area neighbors interacting with township officials, this may not have happened. So we sort of, raise the flag and say, hey, wait a minute, there's a disjustice happening here. There's no way that this couple should do that. So that's why it's important. Not so much that I did anything or Stray Winds area neighbors did anything. You need a watchdog. That's how our country works, folks, is people are fleeing for the door. I can see the numbers dropping. The other big thing on the watchdog news, you may have seen it on PennLive.com on the 13th. Triple Crown Corporation, based here in Lower Paxton Township, has broken ground on their residential community, and it's called a mixed use type of thing because there's all kinds of uses. At Blue Ridge Country Club, the former country club, going to be turned into Blue Ridge Village. Here's what's going to be there eventually. They're just doing initial earth moving and that kind of thing. The 4 buildings on that property are going to be demolished at some point. There'll be 108 single-family homes, 128 townhomes, 160 luxury apartments. That's 396, that's based on my count, 396 living units there. There'll be an assisted living facility opening up in 2020. In the front part, in the front part of the development, you have to go into the development to get to it. There will not be driveways to these businesses. There'll be a bank. Orangetown Bank is going to locate there. A small CVS pharmacy, and one big benefit is a 32-acre park is going to be on the eastern part of that property. It's going to be a public park. So that project has started and is underway. So we'll be monitoring that as things go along. And the whole thing is senior citizen friendly. It's designed for senior citizens, although other people can live there. You don't have to be a senior citizen to live there. Moving over to our community news report brought to you by St. Thomas Roasters Coffee House. Be sure to, I tell you what, you should follow, if you're on Twitter, follow St. Thomas Roasters. You can get an update pretty much every day on what kind of coffees they're serving. Usually they start out with 5. By the time I get there, it's only 4. But I give you the names of all these fantastic coffees they get from around the world. Now, are you interested in getting involved in your community, getting away from the boob tube or the watching your phone and actually interacting with people? I have an opportunity for you this week. The Linglestown Area Civic Association, LACA, is going to be meeting this Wednesday, 7 o'clock, at the Linglestown Fire Company, and the brick building. There's a meeting room right in the front of that. So this is a group that puts on some big events, including the Christmas tree lighting, and they do the Taste of Linglestown in August, September. Check that out. This is a good way of meeting some people. Stand by. I'm going to be giving away 2 Amazon Echo speakers. Actually have them here. Here's one of them. And if you win, you can join the throng of people listening to the Linglestown Gazette daily update that's broadcast over these speakers. Also, you can listen to it on the net. So that's coming up once I figure out how to do it. If your group is looking for a public speaker, I'm more than willing. I'm able to do that. I just spoke before the Dauphin and Middle Paxton Historical Group. So, give me a call and set me up. They seem to have liked it, so I don't know. I'll give it a try. I talk about the importance of local news and local journalism. This broadcast is brought to you in part by CBC Cabinetry and Flooring. And they're going to be working in this space right here behind me. I'm making some progress on this new office in my backyard. Also, we're brought to you in part by Cole Performance Chiropractic, located at Platinum Fitness in West Hanover Township. Look for Dr. Cole to be with us on Friday. He has a Friday health tip. Let's close out. We're doing pretty good on time here. Close out with the Tonino's Pizza Sports Report. And just one thing here, I do see a note from Connie Ackery, the Linglestown Ladies Auxiliary. This is affiliated with the Linglestown Fire Company. They're meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. So if you're a lady, you're welcome to go. Tonight, Linglestown Fire Company, Linglestown Ladies Auxiliary. They help support our firefighters and first responders. Thank you, Connie, for that note. Yes, our Tonino's Pizza Sports Report. Really just a couple notes. One is, if you're into basketball, this is a great week for you because we're winding down the PIAA high school basketball season. They have the state championship games this weekend at Giant Center. We're just a stone's throw away from all the big action. So if you're into that, check Linglestown Gazette Sports for more information. That's Linglestown Gazette Sports, by the way, is on Facebook at the moment. That's where I also have a Twitter feed, but whatever. And the final note on it, today, myself and my daughter actually are going to be heading out to Central Dauphin High School to do our second media day for lacrosse teams. Today it's going to be the girls lacrosse team. We did one for the boys on Saturday. So, and the reason I make a point about this is that we are pioneering a new program. It's called Team Reporting Program. Now, that's a great name, isn't it? Team Reporting Program. I spent all of last week coming up with that name. But really what it is in this day and age, we don't have the staffing and the money to send reporters out to all these high school things. And I tell you what, I don't think Penn Live has the staffing to field phone calls and emails and whatever to be able to print scores from all these different high school sports. But if we partner, and that's what the team reporting program does, it's a partnership between Linglestown Gazette and these sports teams. We're finding a way of putting local high school sports out there so you can get it in a timely manner. So if you're affiliated with a high school sports team at Central Dauphin High School, Central Dauphin East High School, Bishop McDevitt, those three are our primary targets at the moment for this program. Get in touch. We'll tell you how to do it. We'll give you the nuts and bolts of getting information out there about your sports team. That's enough. I've had enough. I need to take a break. I'm going to the Bahamas or something. No, I'm just kidding. I'm probably going to go to Felicita and run, try and work out some of my anxieties, some of my pent-up energy that needs to be expended. This is Bill Bostic, your one and only wannabe. Walter Cronkite gearing up to be Bill again this Friday and Saturday at Springgate at the Murder Mystery. Get your tickets today. This is Linglestown Gazette Morning Update brought to you by Consolidated Insurance Services and the committee to re-elect Rich Mazzatesta and elect Ted Giovannis to the Central Dauphin School Board. We will see you on Wednesday. And possibly with a special guest, Crystal Bob, maybe, and a special guest that you want to check back. That's Wednesday sometime around 8:45, 9 o'clock. Have a great Monday. We'll check back with you again. Sayonara, or something like that. So now I have to figure out how to turn this off. Technology. Who needs it?